দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি চ্যানেল 24 এর বিশেষ আয়োজন মুখোমুখিতে। আমাদের আজকের অতিথি মার্কিন যুক্তরাষ্ট্রের দক্ষিণ ও মধ্য এশিয়া বিষয়ক সহকারী পররাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী মিশা দেশাই বিসওয়াল। Welcome to the show.
Hassan, thank you so much for having me.
You've been traveling Dhaka many times, so what brings you here at this time?
Well, thank you. You know, after the tragic and very deplorable attacks of the 1st of July and the 7th of July, Secretary Kerry, in his conversation with the Prime Minister, pledged that the United States would stand with the people of Bangladesh. And he asked me to come and to convey the personal regards of the President and the Secretary to the Prime Minister and to the people of Bangladesh, and to come and to discuss how the United States can best support Bangladesh at this difficult time, because we stand with the government and we stand with the people against these heinous attacks that have taken place.
Yes, and for the first time with the people of the world, along with the Bangladeshi people, we faced these kind of things. And it's very, very new to us. And the hostage situation is just like a film, but even then it's really brutal. So do you think, is there any international connection or homegrown terrorism, what it can be?
You know, it is the challenge of our times increasingly that we are seeing in many different countries and in many different ways these forces of extremism, of nihilism. And we do know that while there are forces that are homegrown and indigenous, that increasingly these networks are talking to each other, are connecting with each other, are learning from each other. And we have seen that, and we have seen the claims of responsibility on the July 1 attacks from ISIL, from the Islamic State, Daesh as we refer to it. We have seen also in prior attacks claims of responsibility from Al-Qaeda. And we do believe that there are connections between homegrown networks and these international networks. And we are determined to learn more about exactly how those connections take place and what they are and what they are intending, and to be able to stop them, to dismantle those networks, to destroy those cells, and to counter the very destructive and dark ideology that they peddle. And in this endeavor, this is a challenge for all of the people of the world, all of the societies, to be able to work together and to do their part. And so we come here with the intention of offering to Bangladesh what we can in terms of information that we may be able to bring to bear, and capabilities that we may be able to share, and technologies and training that we may be able to share.
All right. So how was your discussion with the high officials to Bangladesh?
Well, you know, I believe that there is a very firm resolve. We have heard that from the Prime Minister herself in her address to the nation. We have heard that in the comments of other senior leaders and members of the government. And certainly our discussions over the past couple of days have reflected that very sober and firm resolve to one, better understand the threats that are facing this country, and a firm resolve to address them, to counter them. This is a magnificent country, and the people of Bangladesh, we know, are the firm foundation of a tolerant, inclusive society. And these ideologies cannot and will not prevail, and we will do our part to support this government and the people.
One thing is very new to us, that the people who were in the operation, they are well established, they're from a good family, they're not somebody who is hungry for money or needs money to do such things. They are from a very good background. Don't you think it's a new phenomenon in the world that established people, educated people are getting into this terrorism ideological fight against the terrorism?
It's a very good question, and this is a challenge that we are seeking to better understand around the world, because we have seen youths from fairly affluent communities, well educated, who have somehow been lured into by the false promises and the false hopes that are peddled by these extremist networks. And it is our task to try to ensure that we are engaging our youth, ensuring that we are talking to them about not only the dangerous and frankly the false promises that are being proffered by these kinds of networks, but that we're also talking to them and engaging them about the more hopeful prosperity and opportunity that we seek to provide, whether it is in the United States as we seek to engage communities across our country, in Bangladesh and in many other countries around the world, that we cannot allow for these destructive ideologies to create a false picture of what they are peddling, because they don't represent either Muslim faith and Muslim culture, nor do they represent really any kind of a hopeful ideology for the world that they're seeking to bring about.
So you also had a meeting in this tour with other diplomats in Dhaka. Any idea how they're going to help us? Do you have any message from them, or we all can fight for one world where no terror will stand?
You know, what I heard overwhelmingly was, on the one hand, concern, which I think is important to understand, that there is concern in the diplomatic community, in the business community, and frankly, I think throughout society, about what this portends. Mm-hmm. But there's also a very firm commitment and resolve to support the people of Bangladesh and the government of Bangladesh at this time, and I certainly heard that across the board from the diplomats that I met with, and certainly also from business executives and others that I met with. And so, as the government seeks to address this challenge and they communicate their firm resolve, and I think the Prime Minister is starting to do this in the remarks that she has put forward to the nation, that the world will also be there with Bangladesh at this time, and certainly that is the message I bring from President Obama and from Secretary Kerry.
We'll be back to our discussion. দর্শক, একটা বিরতি যাচ্ছি, ফিরছি একটু পরে।